If your happiness affects other people, are you obligated to be happy? You are obligated to be happy, period, whether it affects other people or not. But if it's affecting other people, then the mitzvah becomes even bigger. And the example for that is very simple. If you come to my house, if I invite you to my house, and I give you a room, and I give you food, and I give you whatever it is you need, and you don't smile, I'm not inviting you back. You're not a good guest. So even if you don't help me, even if you don't fix my house, even if you don't do anything special, the least you can do is smile. If I invite you to my house and you're happy, then I'll invite you back because you're a good guest. So being in God's world, even if you're not a tzaddik, even if you're not doing mitzvahs, the least you can do is be a little grateful to be invited. You're not even happy to be invited? Then fine, I'm not inviting you back. So being besimcha is more than a mitzvah. In order to be happy, you have to know what you're happy about. Sometimes we forget, or we're so upset that we stop thinking about the things that we are happy about, like the fact that we're alive. So if we just stop and think, I may have problems, but I'm alive. I may not have everything I want, but I have many things. I didn't deserve to be born, and yet I was born for free.
How can you deserve to be born
You can't.
before you're born?
Right. So it's always for free. Right? So when a person realizes, wait a minute, I'm a guest. Somebody is giving me hospitality in a world that I didn't create or deserve. That is a reason to be happy. But if a person says, well, I didn't ask to be invited, and I don't want to be invited, and I'm not happy about being alive. Oh, really? It's not true. Every person wants to live desperately. In fact, we want to live so much that we can't stand when life is not perfect. What does that show? We really want to live. So there's a story about a couple who were very happily married for many, many, many years. She was the ugliest thing in the world, and her husband didn't care because he was blind. And he was the most vicious, critical, complaining. She didn't care because she was deaf. So they lived happily together. One day a doctor came to town who could cure everything. So they went to him, and he cured them. He made him see, and he made her hear. A couple of weeks later, the doctor comes to the door with a bill. He wants to get paid for the operation. And the husband and wife attack him. They said, we should pay you? You ruined our lives. We were so happy before. Now we're miserable. So the doctor says, oh, I'm sorry. Come back to the clinic. I'll make you blind and I'll make you deaf. They said, no. We don't want that. But you made us miserable. He said, but you don't want to be blind and you don't want to be deaf. So pay me. A person says to God, I didn't ask to be born. Oh, really? Okay. I'll take it back. Well, no, I don't mean that. Okay. So say thank you for what you have, then you can complain for what you don't have. You don't say thank you for what you do have, then you really can't complain for what you don't have. Because when you say thank you for what you have, you're saying life is great. Then you can complain when a great life is being ruined. But if you don't care about life anyway, so don't complain that it's ruined. We had a guy in our shul. He was an old man. He was a survivor. He was very bitter. Every Shabbos he came to shul. Did not daven, ever, because he didn't believe in God. He came to shul in the biggest snow, in the most cold days of winter. He came every Shabbos to shul to tell us that he doesn't believe in God. That was the whole purpose of coming to shul. One day, we found out in the middle of Shabbos that his daughter had given birth to his first grandchild. So we all ran over to him, Mazel Tov, a grandchild. He wasn't, none of that. So I took him aside later, and I said to him, listen, if you're not happy and thrilled that your grandchild was born, then you have no right to complain that God let 6 million people die. A God who lets people die is perfect for you, because you don't like life anyway. So stop complaining. You can only complain about death if you love life. You don't love life, so what do you care if people die? To the degree that you love life, to that degree you can be upset when life is not perfect. Because you believe life should be perfect. That means you love life. If you don't love your husband, what do you care if he's a shlemazel? If you do love him, then you care if he's a shlemazel. But a person can't say, I don't love my husband, and I hate that he's a shlemazel. If you don't love him, what do you care if he's a shlemazel? We have to be very, very happy that we happen to have some very comfortable, good lives. And then we can be really angry and upset that there's so much suffering going on. But if you don't have the happiness, you can't have the complaint. If you don't want life, then you can't ask for a better one. Make sense?